SummerSlam Night 1 Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, and your hot takes from the previous night of SummerSlam. I do it for Raw and SmackDown too, and I'll do it for SummerSlam Night 2 tonight as well. Well, you'll get the hot takes tomorrow, but you get my drift. All right, let's start off hot with Top Kid Jalen Hurts. Once I saw no fireworks go off, I knew Punk was not keeping that title. Congrats to my GOAT, Seth freaking Rollins. It's hop. I was crashing, and then Seth saved the day. Thank you, Architect. Guess somebody doesn't like CM Punk. Jimbo sliced. I knew it was a work. I knew it was a work, but I did it at the same time. It was like, I think they're tricking us. I think they're doing something, guys. And then, but I was like, but maybe they're not. I don't want to be disrespectful. So they got us. Like, Marcola 969. Looking forward to how Punk is going to dethrone Seth at some point. Yes, this never-ending feud has reached a boil once more. I will say, after WrestleMania, Seth and Punk kind of was like, I'm kind of done with this. But now, with CM Punk winning this title, and then Seth Rollins cashing in and fooling the entire world, their feud is back to a fever pitch, and I cannot wait to see what happens either. And I cannot wait to see who wins this title on my shoulder. How do you win it, you ask? All you got to do is comment below. I'm going to give away this belt right here, replica. Not a toy. I'm going to give it away at 20,000 subscribers. We're at like 2,100 away. I'll give it away on a live stream. All you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. Help me quit my day job. You can win. All right. And now we go to Sky Wonder Wolf. I loved Seth's cash-in. That's what CM Punk gets, LOL. And Seth made good on what he told Punk. As long as he is in the WWE, he won't let him be champion. Well, promises made, promises kept. Anthony Blakely, it's a great closing for the party of the summer, and new women's tag team champions as well. Wonder what they're going to do with Bliss and Flair. I hope they keep that tag team division going. Hey, you know what? Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, they were having some defenses. They were getting it. They got it going, right? Now it's up to Bliss and Charlotte to run with it. Mr. Pete, Logan Paul is a future world champion. Shrug emoji. Well, you know what? He has now proven that he can carry an angle. This match, this feud, while Drew McIntyre had a large part of it, honestly, I feel that it was more Logan Paul carrying the feud than it was Drew. And, kudos for Drew, too. Like, maybe Drew helped him and coached him throughout the process, but Logan Paul definitely had a large part in making this angle with Jelly Roll, of all people, a success. The price of a sports show. Absolutely terrible booking at the end. You're telling me that seeing Seth is fine? Roman isn't coming out and costing him? Absolutely terrible. Triple H, he needs to lose his job. I'm not sure if I would go as far as giving Triple H the pink slip, but you are right in the fact that why wouldn't Roman come out to stop Seth Rollins? The best explanation would be Roman Reigns left. Maybe like he did his match, and then he left the building, and now he's on vacation. Because who knows if we're going to see Roman again for 6 months, or if we're going to see him tomorrow night, so he can take a spear and then leave for 6 months, because for some reason, it seems like if Roman gets hurt on a Raw, that knocks him out of commission for weeks to months. But on a PLE, he'll recover. But you are right. And I think I saw another comment. Let me read it. Here we go. XXHR 09XX75. Rollins has terrorized the whole roster. Why did no one even try to stop the cash-in? LA Knight, Penta, Jay, Roman, Cody, kinda Cena, and more all have feuds or bad blood with him. I understand why you can justify Cody and Cena. They just weren't in the building. I already said you could justify Roman in that he left, but LA Knight, yeah, and Penta. Okay, so, they're not on the card. You could say, they're not on the card. But remember when they were in Saudi Arabia? It was Seth Rollins trying to cash in on John Cena, and who came out? everybody. Plus, even Penta came out, and he was not on the card. So if we're to do consistent booking, we're to assume that either Penta flew all the way to Saudi Arabia with his gear just in case Seth Rollins cashed in, or everybody's required to be at every show. If that's the case, either way, Penta should have came out. At least Penta should have came out. So if everybody's required to be there, so LA Knight should have came out as well. Or let's just say they're not doing that for some reason in this situation. Well, what about Jey Uso? Jey Uso would have been there probably, sort of, kind of. Yeah, he would have been, because I think he did a post show interview. So yes, that is, I would have to say that this does fall into not the biggest of plot holes. Like, I've seen bigger plot holes, I really have, but it is a plot hole nonetheless that nobody tried to come out. At the very least, they should have had maybe like the bronze in the back, like holding the door or something in front of the door, a quick little scene of that. Or they could even film that today. They could literally film that today and then show it to close that loop. And then it would also make Seth even look even more diabolical, more of a genius, because he knew that people might come out. So there are ways to fix it, but you two are right. Like, where was Roman? Where was Penta? Where was all these other people that in the past would have tried to stop Seth? Cool guy. The night one is miles better than the night one of Mania. I agree that something, I think, I don't know, maybe expectations were way too high for WrestleMania 41, but like, yeah, I agree that I'm enjoying this SummerSlam more than I did Mania night one, or maybe in general, because there was some good matches. I really liked the Grande Americano Ray Phoenix match, and then the main event was really good too, so I don't know, it's gonna be apples to oranges, I guess, maybe night one. Now, I'm very much expecting night two to be better than night two of WrestleMania. That, I'm like, how could they not top that horrible main event of Mania? Oh gosh. By the way, I did release a How to Ruin SummerSlam video on Patreon. If you got $5 extra a month to support the channel, I do daily videos on this channel, plus at least 4 videos on Patreon. So it would help a lot. I'd appreciate it. And then we got El Senor. The night one of SummerSlam gave me night one WrestleMania vibes, and the crowd did not help at all. So it wasn't better for everybody, it looks like. The crowd was a little iffy here and there. Najib says, Raquel and Roxanne Perez lost the tag titles. Now there's no reason to say, Liv, we did not need you. They have to regain the titles to make the story make sense. That's an interesting point, actually. That is actually kind of a good point, because, like, then why does Raquel have to stay? Why does Raquel have to stay when Liv comes back? Unless, not Raquel, Roxanne. Why does Roxanne have to stay when Liv comes back? If they have the titles, they could be like, well, then they could have done a Freebird, and they could have done the unwilling Freebird rule, where all 3 are the champions, but like Liv and Roxanne don't want the other 2 there. So that would have been kind of cool, actually. And if you don't know what the Freebird rule is, that means there's 3 people on a tag team, and at any given night, you can pick any combination of the 2 to enter on behalf of the tag team itself. The New Day are the most recent team to really utilize that rule. The smartest idiot, I don't know why everybody is complaining. I feel like the right choices were made for all but the exception of Sammy not turning heel on Cross. Well, that's the thing. It's all subjective. So just because you think everything is right, maybe someone else thinks everything is wrong. For example, I thought it was the wrong booking to let Jade Cargill lose. Now, I will say, I've already explained in my review last night, so go watch that just because my person didn't win doesn't mean it was a bad event. It just means my person didn't win. I only get mad when there's inconsistencies, illogical booking, and giant gaping plot holes. Money on repeat, Logan Paul is an actual wrestler first, not a social media guy anymore. Ooh, that's a hot take. People are going to be like, what? Money on repeat, how dare you? How dare you praise Logan Paul? And then, yes, Gunther's splash is ugly. So you had a hot take and a cold take, because Gunther's splash, that's a cold take. That is the ugliest splash I've ever seen. Love you, Gunther, but Mr. T Live, SummerSlam Night 1 was decent at best. I would say it was good to pretty good. I gave it an 8 out of 10 chops. Then we got AI Riddle Room. Cross is definitely out of WWE. I don't think LA Knight is far behind him. Ooh, that's interesting. Like Cross, I hope they're pulling the wool over our eyes, but I don't see it. Looks like they did that old tradition of jobbing the guy out as before he leaves. I hope I'm wrong, but Karrion Kross's contract is up in August, and I thought that maybe a victory would be a good sign that he had re-signed, but he lost. So that just means the opposite of what I thought, which means it's a good sign he did not sign, which is unfortunate, because he's getting a lot of cheers. I'm really hoping we get a last-minute 11th hour deal. And then what about LA Knight? Yeah, if I was LA Knight, I'd be kind of upset. Like, he was in a main event program with Seth Rollins, and was he the scapegoat? Or not the scapegoat, but like, he was the red herring. He won, he wins, and then just disappears. He literally is the last guy that beat Seth Rollins, who is now your world champion, and he's completely gone off TV. Doesn't make it to SummerSlam, not to mention his Saturday Night Main Event match ended up sucking because that finish was so awkward. I really, really hope that he knew what was happening, because if he was not in the loop of that injury angle, I would say that is borderline disrespectful in this day and age. That is Vince Russo kind of booking when you try to put one over on the boys. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really hope LA Knight knew. Now Triple H is the boss and he can do whatever he wants, but that would, in this day and age, when you're literally making documentaries about how unreal wrestling is, I just really hope LA Knight was in on the secret. But in on the secret or not, I would be kind of mad. I'd be kind of mad. His main event push was derailed. Hopefully he's one of Seth's first challengers, or maybe he could be the guy that takes it off him, but I don't know. LA Knight, maybe you're right. Maybe he's not far behind Cross. Query, Alexa Bliss sucks now and is not needed. I disagree with that. I think she's just finding her place in this new landscape of the WWE Women's Division. Roman Reigns acknowledged me. Hot take. Smelly Roll, R.I.P. LOL. Just kidding. Jelly Roll did his thing. Probably better than me. Honestly, LOL. Props. It's entertainment, and that's all I'm here for. I got it. Thanks, Jelly. Yeah, I'm very happy with the result of the Jelly Roll match. Surprised. I do not feel that he should have been on the card. I still feel this was a waste of a match, but I will say good things have come from it. And first off, I'm very happy for Jelly Roll to live out his dream, because he lived out his dream without burying the entire WWE roster. In that, he pretty much got beat up the whole time. Yeah, he got his moves in here and there, but for the most part, he got beat up. And that's what in real life would have happened. Like, I could see kind of maybe how they did Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, how they came in. They look athletic, but like, Jelly Roll, yeah, he lost a lot of weight, but he still did not look athletic. And for real, he just took beating after beating. So, like, I do give him props. Because a lot of times celebrities, they come in and they want to win and look unstoppable. And you can tell that Jelly Roll, he was humble about everything, enjoyed the process, and allowed the wrestlers to do their thing. So, whether or not I wanted Jelly Roll on the card, he was on the card, and it served its purpose to me. And it got Logan Paul more over, because now he can, like, brag about being the gatekeeper of WWE and kicking the celebrities out. It'll be funny. It'll be hilarious. So, Jelly Roll, for what it's worth, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for respecting the business. Donatello Leonardo, I can agree that they probably could have least minimally protected Jade and not have her had Tiffany go full heel. I thought they should have had Tiffany go full heel and beat Jade somehow. Or they should have had, like, Naomi. She just completely hates Jade so much. On the same brand or not, she comes out, distracts, and Naomi loses. Something to protect Jade. I thought a clean loss was very head-scratching. But he does say that Tiffany's winning he does say that if Jade had won, it would have just turned her into a super Rhea, a super Damian Priest, or Hart Jacob, who never loses and never has any adversity. And Tiffany beating Charlotte and holding the belt past SummerSlam also makes it mean way more when Jade eventually beats her for it. So basically saying that Jade Cargill needed the loss because you don't want to create a Super Rhea or a character that people kind of start to resent because you know that they're never going to lose and that they can beat everybody in any fight. Because I remember in 2024, I was definitely not on board the Rhea Damian train because every week they would just mop up the floor with Judgment Day. I don't know. I would have rather them given the Queen of the Ring to Asuka then and not let Jade get to this point if they were going to do it this way. I get what you're saying, and I wish they would have just put Jade in the mid-card title and let her have a very dominant run with that mid-card title. That was, I think, Come At Me Now had said that, and I do think that just a Gunther-like U.S. title reign for Jade, that would have been perfect. I just question that we've built Jade like this far just for her to lose clean to Tiffany. That, to me, I did not agree with that. I also did not agree with Sami Zayn winning against Cross. But again, the show was not ruined. My guy, my gal did not win, but it doesn't mean that this is the worst booking of all time. Glacier Boy says Punk versus Gunther is match of the year contender. I'm glad you liked it. It was very slow in the beginning, and I think people forget that's Gunther's style until it gets it ramps up. Gunther definitely starts very slow, like a Glacier actually, but when it's all said and done, a lot of damage has been wrought. Like a Glacier. WTF Patch, not gonna lie, Chop, that ending was diabolical. Surprises are always welcome. WTF Patch also says, can't believe that Cross's match was the most laziest booking and low point of the day. Honestly, it was good booking with a horrible ending because they had outs. There was multiple times in that match that I was like, oh cool, this is how they're going to do it. This is they wrote it this way because of this. There was a time when the ref's back was turned and Cross had a pipe. If he had just thrown Sammy the pipe and then fell down like Eddie Guerrero used to, that would have been cool because then Cross could have won by DQ. And what a way to win your feud by disqualification. That would have been amazing. That would have been awesome. Then there was another incident where Sammy had the pipe, right? And he could have used it on Cross, but he decided not to. He throws it away and Cross literally rolls him up. Right? The roll-up is the easiest way to protect the wrestler, so we could have protected Sammy, and he kicked out of that. There was two perfect ways for Sammy to lose here, and that, they wrote the match great. It was the ending. The ending that is just wait, what? Why are we doing this? They're really trying to push Sami Zayn down our throat as a future world champion. And I'm sorry, but you might have missed that boat. And it was heel Sammy that got us to love face Sammy. So people are not buying into Sami Zayn as world champion right now for the most part. I'm sure there's still a lot of people who would love Sami to be world champion. And I would love him to be world champion, but this version right this second, no, it seems too unbelievable in the realm of all the main event talent right now. We need to flip him. We need to flip him heel for a little bit, get our love back for that Sammy, and then let him go face for his title run, in my opinion. DS Paz, I'm very negative of the product. I'm a hater. I love that you called yourself a hater. You know what? I don't recommend hate watching WWE, but if you're going to admit that you hate watch WWE, on some levels, I can respect that. So let's see what else this hater has to say. I say that with love too, by the way. Okay, I'm very negative of the product, but I cheered the cash-in. In canon, makes sense. Punk cost McIntyre the title in 5 minutes, and now it came full circle. I called it even. More of this. Now, to really go full circle, we just need McIntyre to. No, not gonna happen. I would love it, Drew fan, but sadly, no. Okay, so he's saying it would even be better better if now Drew McIntyre swoops in and costs, he wins the title or something. But like many of us Drew McIntyre fans, he's a little disillusioned thinking it won't happen. Maybe though, that triple threat made sense. Drew, Punk, and Seth Rollins, once upon a time, they could easily reignite that. We have Seth laughing on the microphone. CM Punk comes out, and then suddenly Drew music hit. That would be sweet. Then we got Kate Doster videos. The chemistry between Tiffany and Jade in the ring was a huge shock. I wouldn't mind them running that back again. I hope they run it back again. I want Jade to win. Go Buggy. I thought after Sammy match, Cross had to say he was wrong about Sammy if he lost. Yeah, where was that? Cross was literally supposed to say, I was wrong. Maybe they save it for Raw? I don't know. Ron's Talk Tabletop. I said it in the chat, but neither Jade nor Tiffany are really popping the crowd. They need to put the belt on Stephanie Fakir or move somebody else over from Raw. This ain't working. I would love if Stephanie went to SmackDown because I'm afraid they're going to let her beat Naomi. Naomi right now is my favorite. Absolute favorite wrestler on the roster. But, Bianca Belair is coming back, though. So maybe she's the one. Maybe she's going to be the one that takes the belt off. Again, right there, that would have been perfect storytelling. Jade wins the title, and Bianca comes back, and she's like, no hard feelings, Jade, but I want that title, because Jade and Bianca, they're not enemies, but I don't think they're friends anymore either, so this could have pushed them to be enemies. Robert Clayton, Seth Rollins is the physical embodiment of WWE telling Punk he has to eat crap now that he's back. I'm gonna leave that one. There. You can decide whether or not if this is WWE's revenge on Punk. Tazzy Brine, I love how Seth milked the cash in. Even just letting Punk have a moment before Seth's music hit was perfect. Don't go back to being Seth and his secret Hervis now. Yeah, secret Hervis. Yes, the bronze. We need the bronze to be the bronze. Surprised no one has talked about the bronze at all, and Roman Reigns. But I will say that, it was kind of cool. It allowed it to sink in. It allowed us to feel that this was legit, and I literally was like, okay, it's over, it's done, and then after, it was like 4 minutes before Seth came out. Well played. Southpaw Jimmy, since LA Knight beat Seth in his last match, he should instantly declare himself #1 contender. Yeah, he should. Or if, too bad Roman probably won't be around, because what if they did this? This could even be better. LA Knight declares himself the #1 contender, but CM Punk is like, buddy, I just lost that. Those two then, they get into a feud where they fight for the #1 contendership, while Roman Reigns goes after Seth Rollins because, he hates Seth Rollins. And then whatever happens, we can have that knock out Roman Reigns until Survivor Series or something. And then we can have whoever wins from Punk and LA Knight go after Seth for a little bit. I like that. But it won't happen. I don't see really Roman fighting, he hasn't had his singles match this year. No, he did. He had his singles match against Solo at the beginning of the year, so I don't think Roman's actually going to have any kind of singles match this year. I think we have to wait for WrestleMania next year. I really do believe that Roman has about one match a year. And some people are going to take that as me insulting the Tribal Chief. I'm just stating facts. His last 3 matches: Solo, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight. Literally, LA Knight is one of his last 3 singles matches. When was the last time LA Knight was relevant? And we have a bunch of hot takes talking about how they just screwed him over. TTJC, who was in attendance, who was wearing a Wrestlechop shirt, says they buried Jade and Karrion for Seth's cash-in. I'm not sure what you necessarily mean by that. I do agree that Jade should have won and that Karrion should have won, but why were they sacrificed for Jade, for Seth's cash-in? So we had more surprises? I'm not fully clear. If you want to clarify in the comments below, go for it. Goat Buggy, I can honestly say that Seth is the smartest wrestler to ever cash in, because him faking getting injured to make everybody think he wasn't going to show up for SummerSlam, and I feel bad for CM Punk because he held it for a 5-minute run. Not just a 5-minute run, but less than Drew through even. I will say, though, Seth being the smartest, yeah, that probably was the most conniving, and he had a lot of people thinking it because even though the internet doesn't exist, they played to the internet because Seth was on crutches all the way until he dropped them at SummerSlam. Jeff Gonya says, wish that Tiffany and Jade had more time. He liked that match, and that Cross losing kind of sucked, but overall, he thought it was a good night one. Can't wait for night two. Chargers dude Ben. I think they dropped the ball, that Karrion Sammy match, because Sammy should have won by some underhanded tactics unless they have more planned. Exactly. Like, there were so many outs. Sammy could have literally won by using the pipe even. I already gave a couple other scenarios. We'll see, I guess, but right now, we'll see. Tracy Woods absolutely loved her first ever SummerSlam. 5 out of 6 matches went my way. The only one I got wrong was Jelly Roll. Oh, we need to talk Jelly Roll. Tracy, is this your first year ever watching wrestling? Or is this the first SummerSlam you ever attended? I thought you had watched wrestling for a lot longer. I would be interested to know. Shazam Hazan, I guess we have to hope that Cross can pull one last rabbit out of his bag when he has to announce he was wrong on Raw. Weird that he didn't say it immediately. Yeah, he was supposed to say, I was wrong, so maybe they do it on Raw, and then he destroys it. Maybe he completely murders Sami Zayn, and he's like, I was wrong about you. You will never be championship material. Maybe that's what he does? Because as of right now, he believes he could be. Fresh and Fly says Triple H hates to book the Money in the Bank briefcase. Yeah, he does. Surprised we actually got 2 good ones this year. I always wanted someone to hold it to the last hour. Me too. I've always thought that the last day of the actual Money in the Bank PLE for the following year, that's the day they cashed it in. A full calendar year. That would have been cool. Heavy Cloud 6173 would have been peak if Seth had cashed in mid-match again. It would have, because then they could have done Heist of the Century 2. And it would have protected Gunther even more. But the problem, I think they just wanted everyone to believe for 5 minutes that CM Punk was champion. I think they wanted to, oh my God, the PLE's not over. You got to stay to the last minute. And then X Project, WTF, what are they doing with Karrion Kross? Your guess is as good as mine. And I'm not liking it right now, I'll tell you that much. It's OTW. The ending of Jade versus Tiffany made Jade look stupid. She literally forced Tiffany into a rope break. Yeah, and then that final sequence at the end, it looked like she was trying to do a super, what's her move called? I always forget what it's called. But she was trying to do, off the top rope, her move. But then Tiffany, she rolled her up off it. It took too long to set up. So it looked really awkward. It just didn't make her look good, in my opinion. And then the final one, WTF patch. Can't believe we can say for 5 minutes at least, Punk and Cena were the WWE champions in 2025. Yeah, that's right. That's a great point. Who would have thought? Who would have thought in 2016 we could say, or 2015, we can say 10 years from now, Punk and Cena will both be our top champs. That's insane if you really take a moment to stop and think about it. And I hope you do, because this is just such a fast-paced world. We need to stop and reflect sometimes. Boys, girls, have a great night. I'll see you tonight for night 2 of SummerSlam. See ya. Bye.